how's everyone doing? So, real quick, it's Bianca, and I am back with another one. And so, I wanted to pose this question and get you guys' thoughts on this scenario. So, I work in a restaurant. I am a server, and so I had a table. It was a couple, male and female, and we were having a great conversation. They were really nice, and so at the end, I dropped the check off. So I kind of put the check kind of like in the middle of the table, but towards kind of closer to me, towards the end, and so they fought over it. Now I will say this, and this is just an observation, okay? But certain stereotypes do exist for a reason. And a lot of Caucasian people or white people fight over the check. I've seen this happen a lot, especially if it's like businessmen and they're having, lunch together. Or I've seen it where I've taken care of like a large group of people, and then it's like, oh, we want the check. And so I actually find it hilarious. And, it's just a different culture, and it's not something that you see with anyone else. I'm just going to keep it real. So, anyway, but however, in this scenario, it wasn't really that. I laughed at it, but not in the same way. I would in other scenarios, like I've even seen white women do it. Like if it's like a group of middle-aged white women that are going out to lunch, and it is certain ages of people. Like if I took care of like three white teenage girls, you wouldn't see it. But yeah, I've seen middle-aged white women fight like, no, I got it today. No, I have it today. And so I was just like, wow, and that's just the difference in like maturity, social status. I mean, it just is what it is. Now, when I set the bill down, they fought over it, but the woman, she was faster and she got the check. And so I looked at the guy, and he kind of like, he was like, come on, like, let me pay, and he kind of like put his head down a little bit like this. And so I was just kind of standing there, like, and I'm like watching, because most of the time as a server, you just put the check down, like, okay, I'll be back for that, and you just like walk away. And I was like, I kind of stood there and just like kind of watched the body language, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is interesting. And then I kind of chuckled, like, and walked away, went and tended to my next table. So when I came back to pick the check up, he was in the restroom, and so I picked he might have still been there, actually. I don't recall. But anyway, I took the credit card, swiped it, came back, and when I dropped the check off, he was at the restroom. So she was like, "Oh, he doesn't like when I pay or try to pay." And I was like, "I see." I was like, I see, and she was just like, but it's kind of like a little competition between us. And I was just like, okay, I'm just listening. And she was like, and when she said the word competition, I was like, see, that's the problem. That's the problem with a lot of modern relationships in today's world. It's not a competition. We're not a competition. Now, to be fair, guys, I was thinking about it later, and I was like, darn, I should have asked them if they were just like cool, just friends, like best friends or good friends, or if they were in a relationship or engaged or married. I should have asked, because that would have gave me a better understanding. But you could kind of piece things together, little context clues, because when I initially greeted them, I was like, have you all been here before? And they were like, oh yeah, we drove an hour to come here. And I'm like, oh really? They're like, yeah, we eat here all the time. This is one of our most favorite restaurants. And I was just like, okay, so y'all must really love this place if y'all come here. After under an hour commute. I'm not really sure if I would drive an hour to a restaurant all the time. And I don't know. I don't really think the food at my job is all that, but to each his own, But anyway, so that was a kind of a clue. I'm like, y'all come here, y'all drive here all the time. And again, I guess, you can have a platonic friend of the opposite sex and y'all go to this particular restaurant together all the time. That's an hour away. But that just doesn't seem, I don't know. I'm not really buying that. So, and then, too, his reaction. I'm telling y'all, his body language was like, oh my God, like, why do you... It was almost like he was saying, without saying, stop emasculating me. That is, like, kind of what I got from that. Because he legit put his head down, did like this. You know what I mean? Because she had to check. And, he wasn't going to be uncivilized about it and like, girl, give me this check. He wasn't gonna do that, so it was just kind of like, all right, whatever, and it was just kind of like she was like not getting it, and not that I was really trying to send her much of a message, but I kind of was. I was just like, yeah, I see he hates that when you pay, and and then when she said it's kind of like a little competition between us. And I was thinking in my head, like, maybe for you, but it didn't really seem like that for him. Of course, I'm not going to say that to the girl. She about to tip me. Then again, knowing me, if I got to see those people again, I would probably say to her straight up, like, you should just let him pay. And I learned this. I already felt like this anyway, okay, because I have the Holy Spirit. And I believe in gender roles. And I'm not a feminist or any of that. I don't even know how you could be a Christian and a feminist at the same time. But I know they exist. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying, like, the two belief systems don't really go together. And I get, with the sidebar, I know certain aspects of the feminist movement are good, like with the women's right to vote. But it's still a worldly system, okay? And don't think just because it's like a little bit of good aspects in something. Like, it's just, y'all better pray. Because I'm telling you, it's certain things that you just should not align yourself with. Because the overall intent of it is not godly. And so you just need to just disassociate yourself altogether. Ain't no gray, black, white, period. When it comes to the Lord. And so anyway, it kind of made sense that she even used that word competition. She wanted to pay for the bill. You know what I mean? That's not coincidence, and I was like, see, that's that feminist stuff right there. And even if this young lady doesn't label herself as a feminist, the actions were very feminist-like, because men want to be men. They want to provide and do things like that. And so as her and I continued to talk, she was like, well, he paid for my food, when it was my birthday. And so, I kind of just want to be like, hey, you already paid for me for my birthday, so I kind of just want to take care of it this time. Or, and then she said something else that kind of alluded to the fact that she pays sometimes. Like, this is not the first time, outside of the competition comment, she said something else. I just don't recall what it was. And so I just, I said to her, I was just listening, and I was just like, okay. I was like, well, I see. I was like, well, I said, just let him pay more, as long as this is not you, like, half the time. I'm like, just let him pay, And she was like, oh, okay, yeah, because I really wanted to be like, you should just let him pay all the time. Like, it's not, But I wish I could have just asked her, like, what were y'all married? Like, what? But I kind of just assumed that they were married. But then again, if they were married, where's the competition? Don't y'all have the same money? See, now that just opened up a whole world of questions that I wish I would have asked. I don't know, but then, because there's a lot of married, see, and that's another problem with a lot of these relationships out here. How are you married and you don't have your wife and the husband doesn't have all access to everything? Okay, so think about it like this: if the church, we're called the bride of Christ, and Christ is the groom. I mean, the bridegroom or the husband. So, with that said, the wife has access to everything that belongs to the husband, and vice versa. And of course, we know Jesus knows everything about us, but it's a relationship between us and Jesus, and that's what makes Christianity not really a religion. For those out there who don't really understand or just kind of think Christianity is like everything else, and it's like, no, it's really like how you would have a relationship, just relationships with your sister, your husband, cousin. Like, it's like because God is really he's a person. He's a spirit, but he's also a person too. He's very personable, and you can talk to him and he cares about us. It's not like he's just so far and distant and unrelatable, or a statue or something like that, and you have to only approach him certain times of the day, and things like that. It's like, no, God is he's really like a father, you know what I mean? Someone who really cares about you, and that you could talk to about anything that you're dealing with, anything. So with that said, me being a part of me being the bride of Christ, how am I not going to have access to my husband's things? So I don't know if they were married or not. Long story short, or long story medium, and hopefully, I don't even know. But all I know is I just always kind of interested to just kind of see that unfold, and I was just like, And see, that competition mindset is not something that you want to have in your mind when it comes to your boyfriend, husband, whatever. I think the term boyfriend is kind of childish, but I'm just gonna say it because everybody knows what that is. But if you're courting, it's not a competition. You know what I mean? Men don't want to compete with their woman. You know what I mean? No, men compete with each other. Like, when they watch sports and whatnot. This is not a competition of who can pay the bill. Who can grab the bill. And I think that she just really didn't get that. And I could tell by his body language, you know what I mean? And a lot of men just don't say it. Or, I guess, I don't know, out of fear. I don't know what the issue is. But I know for me, not because I'm black, because like I was saying earlier, black people don't reach for the check. Like, I'll pay. I would probably do that, when it comes to me being out with my girls, or, if I take someone I look up to out to lunch, like, no, let me treat, because you really fed into me. You really poured into me. I'm going to take it. So I would do that. But I'm not about to be scrambling for the check. You know what I mean? With my husband or my a man that I'm courting, like, no, like, please let me pay. Like, he gonna be like, all right, well, I guess you don't really need me then. Like, a lot of these women don't really need a man anyway. So, and that's honestly what you're communicating when you do stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I just want y'all to be mindful of those things, and I just wanted to share a real life experience that I had today, because being a server, I have a lot of interesting experiences, and so I think this gave me an idea. I'm gonna upload and share a lot of these things because I think that they can really help people. You know what I mean? Some of them are funny, some of them are annoying, and some of them are, I don't know. I just got a lot of experiences dealing with the public, and whatnot. So, you guys be blessed. This video's long enough. And I will see you guys on the next one. Toodles.